Hi, welcome to Vegetables Day 143. And right now outside it is 79 degrees, so I have a summer hairdo. um, but nothing really happened today. Still trying to get my foot to heal. But I have started looking at yet another diet plan. I just can't seem to be able to pick a plan and stick with it. I know I started out originally, I thought that I would do whole foods plant based. Wasn't doing very good at that. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try the shred diet. And with the way my schedule is these days, while it was the perfect plan in the past because I was still working and I had stuff, I basically did the same thing every day, it worked out perfect. But when I really got into trying to implement the plan and the program, I realized that takes a lot of work, and I don't have that kind of time taking care of myself, my grandson, Scott, and my mother. Just, didn't jive, I guess. Kind of a weird word for me to say, but just didn't, it just wouldn't work for me. On top of that, that plan incorporates meat and dairy into the plan, and not a whole lot of vegetables, surprisingly. So, I mean, it does, but it doesn't give you something specific. It just says 2 servings of vegetables or a serving of fruit, and then it was also incorporating a lot of things that I can't eat anymore, such as grapefruit, cinnamon. Those, citrus fruits in general. So I quickly put that aside. Besides, I still knew deep down inside of my heart, after all of the videos I've watched, all of the books that I have read, I knew deep down inside that whole foods plant-based diet is the best for me. Not only the research that I've done, the reading and such, but also the way that I have felt since I've stopped eating all meat, and then how poor I feel when I do decide to say, oh, forget it, and just start eating meat. It's getting to the point, where it's like I would just say, oh, I love cinnamon so much, so, I'll just have it a day or two, or oh, I'll fix these cinnamon rolls, and I'll just have 2. And then the next day I'm in pain. Well, now it's getting that way with, the animal foods. So I'm happy to say, with the exception of Sonic yesterday, I have not had any animal products for probably a month. And I feel great, except for my foot. That just decided it wants to hurt. And of course my myalgia paresthetica. Except for that, I am feeling fantastic. I still need to work on the energy. But I don't have the pain. And I'm doing the happy dance of the fingers because the elbows, the arms, the wrists, and the fingers on both arms and hands used to hurt constantly. Constantly. And, I'm like, I'll take my watch off and I'll show you this spot right here. This spot right here was always extremely sore. And this spot right here on this elbow was always extremely sore. And I don't have the pain anymore. My hands were constantly falling asleep. They don't do that anymore. I am still wearing wrist braces at night, so I know that has a lot to do with it. It was kind of hard to get used to, just the wrist braces, that I go up to here or here, go up to here, and, it wraps around your thumb, and then there's a bar on the top and a bar on the bottom inside. And I wear one on each hand. And at first they were hard to get used to. But now, just like my CPAP mask, I can't sleep without them. And when I do, I always wake up with my hands all numb and tingly, and my hands will hurt for the rest of the day. So I know definitely the braces have helped, but I know that the diet changes have helped too. Because before, even when I was wearing my wrist braces at night, it was better, but I would still have the sore achiness in my fingers. Of course, I'm also taking anti-gout medicine, but again, before I stopped eating the meat, I was doing the braces, I was doing the gout medicine, and it still hurt. So I then started, back to the diet. I knew whole foods plant-based was the way to go. And I have begun to begin eliminating all of the animal products from my diet. But I'm afraid that, maybe I'm not going to get enough nutrition, enough nourishment from the foods that I am eating. So I've begun once again to research what I feel is the best. And I've been hearing a lot about the starch solution by Dr. McDougall. And the basic principle of that is you take your plate at every meal and you make half your plate starch and then the other half of your plate non-starchy fruits and vegetables. But your starch side was usually, like rice, potatoes, beans, which are okay, starchy vegetables, other types of starchy vegetables like corn. And I thought, well, maybe that's the way to go. But then I come across, but then I have to think also about Scott, who has diabetes. And while Dr. McDougall will swear up and down that somebody with diabetes can follow his diet plan and reverse their diabetes, every time Scott tried to eat that way, his blood sugar went through the roof. So I'm like, no, that can't be right. Then I ran into Mastering Diabetes, and I figure, okay, well, they're diabetics. They should, I'm sure that if this is something that they follow, and, they have multiple clients that have followed their plan, it should work. But then so then I bought their book, I listened to their book, and I started really digging into it. And most of what they advocate is fruit. Again, a situation where Scott eats something like that and his blood sugar goes through the roof. On top of that, for myself, I tried one of their recipes, and it was disgusting. And every single recipe that they advocate has either some kind of citric acid in it or cinnamon. Almost every single recipe has some kind of either lemon juice, orange juice, or lime juice in it. Oh, well, I can't do that, so that had to go out the window. So, when I was doing all of my research, started reading the books, I had read Dr. Joel Fuhrman's book, Eat to Live, and then I also read Dr. Michael Greger, How Not to Die. And I knew when I first read Dr. Fuhrman's Eat to Live, I guess I didn't really understand. I read it, it was like the second book I read. And I hadn't done near as much research on this whole food plant-based thing. And I looked at it and I was like, that doesn't sound right. And I can't, I don't think I could do something like that. And so I kept searching. And then I came across Dr. Greger. And I'll tell you, the biggest issue is, one, getting Scott on board. And two, giving up the meat and the dairy. And with Dr. Greger's plan, I was like, okay, great, that sounds really good. And then I also got How Not to Diet and read that. Wanted to go ahead and follow all of that, so I downloaded the app and started checking all the boxes every day. But I was really struggling with it. And a lot of it was because I had not given up the meat or the dairy. And, Dr. Greger's plan also, he's like, well, he's vegan and completely meat and dairy free. With his plan, he's like, well, if you have it every once in a while, that's okay. You just have to stay away from the red light foods and eat them as infrequently as possible. But he didn't completely eliminate it. And, he has the green, yellow, red foods. And on the red foods, he's like, well, stay away from it as much as possible. But he didn't say, no, don't get it. So I thought, well, maybe that would be something good to go with Scott. And then all heck broke loose with not feeling well. It got to be that time of year where it just got bitterly cold. I couldn't breathe. I had a headache. I didn't feel well. I couldn't go out. Just made all kinds of excuses why I couldn't follow a particular plan. Also got into the EveryPlate. And I do like the EveryPlate. The price is great. The meals are delicious. But they have little to no vegan options. They have vegetarian options, but they don't have any vegan options. So that kind of, and once I had that for a few months, I began to again realize that, hey, wait a minute, I even got to be in a little bit of pain. I got to be where, I really, really need to be vegan. I really need to do this whole foods plant-based diet. I have to. I have to get rid of this. I mean, look. Just look at this. It's disgusting. I'm going to take off my... Yeah, look. I mean, look how big that arm is. That's disgusting. So, that's when I, went ahead and decided to fully commit to no animal products. And since then, I think I've had one McDonald's chicken sandwich and the Sonic yesterday, which was a burger. Other than that, I have done whatever I could to, if Scott wants to go out and he wants to eat that, fine. But I found it within myself, the commitment to myself to say no 99% of the time. I mean, even yesterday on my way to Sonic, I'm going through my head. The only reason there's two reasons I didn't get Sonic. One is because I really didn't want to stop at a second place. And two, went right past Chipotle and right past Core Life. But for both of them, you have to get out of the car. And by the time I was driving home from where I was coming, after having done a lot of walking, my foot just hurt too bad. I know that sounds like a lame excuse, but, that's the truth. And, I quite frankly, when I was going past Chipotle, I was, it's on the driver's side of this big, huge highway, and I was all the way over on the passenger side, because that's the side of the highway that Sonic happened to be on. So, I had Sonic. This evening, still struggling with the dishes, but this evening we decided that we would have Jimmy John's. And the reason we decided on Jimmy John's is because they have a veggie sandwich. It normally comes with mayonnaise and provolone, so I took both of those off, and I added mustard, extra lettuce and tomato, and a few of the Jimmy's peppers. And that was pretty good. I was surprised. But in the meantime, I've also really started to listen to Dr. Furman in his presentations, and really began looking more thoroughly into his plan. It's called it's Eat to Live, and he does give some guidelines in his book. I did watch a video that kind of went over those. But the big thing that he stresses is his G-bombs. It stands for greens, berries, onions, mushrooms, beans, and seeds. And he says you need to have those every single day. And when I look at Dr. Greger's 21 Tweaks and Daily Dozen, it incorporates many of the same things as Dr. Furman's plan. So knowing that I really liked the way that Dr. Greger's plan was, where it gives, especially the 21 tweaks, where you say, okay, you have garlic, so much garlic every day, so much, cayenne pepper, or I forgot there's an alternate to cayenne pepper that I usually have. You have that, nutritional yeast every day, and black sesame seeds, and just a whole list of 21 things that help you lose weight and to not diet anymore. In addition, Dr. Furman talks about something like, okay, for breakfast, usually have like some kind of waffle or pancake, or some oatmeal, or I think maybe some tofu dishes. Yeah, like a tofu omelet or chickpea omelet. Yeah, not tofu, chickpea omelet. Stuff like that. But then for lunch, you have a big old salad every day. And you call it a salad, but basically it's a raw vegetable mixture that you put a dressing on. And his dressings that he advocates are oil-free, but you usually put nuts or seeds in them. And so then that's one of his G-bombs, is the seeds. So you use that whole seed, like a whole sunflower seed, and that's what gives the oil, the dressing, the creaminess, and the oil. Because all of the store-bought ones usually have like canola oil in them. So that way you're making your own homemade dressings. And what's nice is that I have a Ninja personal blender, and so so the containers are smaller, so I can and they have lids, so I can maybe find a dressing that I like, make a batch of it, and have it for the week. So that'll be nice. And then the thing about salads is I'm usually pretty good about having salads for lunch. If I'm going to have a salad, it's typically for lunch. And Scott agrees to eat salads. And then for dinner, Scott's always has always liked soup and is willing to eat soup regularly. So I figured, and that's what Dr. Furman advocates, a salad for lunch and a soup for dinner. So if I can do that and just vary the salads and soups, I should be able to get Scott on board too. And he wants to make changes. He really does. He's just really struggling with it. More so than I am. Of course, I've always had a wider variety, or a wider palate when it comes to food than Scott anyway. But, we're just going to see. We just have to see. I know that it's something that I want to do. I'm committed to doing. And if I can eat 99% vegan for over a month, and at least 80% vegan for close to a year, if you count the time before, skip 2020 and come back to 2021. If I can do it, I know I can get it done. It's just going to take time. But so I am now thinking, probably going to regret it. Go ahead and this time I'll rent it on Audible since it doesn't cost me anything, and I will listen to a couple of Dr. Furman's books, take notes, and see if I can just work that in at least 2 or 3 times a week to start. And hopefully I can, find some soups and salads that I enjoy that are quick and easy to make so that, I can fully make the switch 100% and know that I'm getting in all of the macronutrients and micronutrients that my body needs. And I know I'm talking a lot about diet for the last, 143 days. But I talk about it a lot because that's what my focus is this year, is to get this done once and for all. And it has encompassed a very large part of my life. And, again, I want to use my channel as a way to document where I was at, where I'm going. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do today as well is I'm going to insert a picture that was taken June 1st, 2019 at my daughter's wedding of myself, so that I can use that as my before, because honestly, that's the heaviest I've ever been, and that is exactly where I started this whole change in diet. It started, I've kind of sort of been on, was kind of sort of trying to start in 2019, but it wasn't until July of 2019, when I really started getting into trying to figure out and understand and learn as much as I can about the whole foods plant-based lifestyle. So here's that picture. Well, I wasn't able to find a photo from my daughter's wedding that I could edit good enough to get everybody else out. So this is a picture from her bridal shower. That is her shoulder that you see. And this is in May of 2019, about 2 weeks before her wedding. And about 2 weeks before this picture, I did weigh myself at my doctor's office, and it was either 253 or 255, but I just don't remember which. And then here is a picture of me today. Okay, so this is the photo that I took about an hour ago. And when I uploaded it into the video, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I look larger than I did in the previous photo, which was taken in May of 2019. So probably really close to 2 years to the day. And I definitely have to talk to my doctor, because the photo before was taken about 2 weeks after I weighed in at the oncologist at 253 or 255. Don't remember which one. And then 2 weeks ago, I weighed in on the exact same scale and weighed in at 240. So even the doctor scale as well as the scale here at home both show a 15-pound difference to the negative. But yet, I look so much larger. So I definitely need to talk to my doctor so we can hopefully figure out what's going on. But, I hope that, you're enjoying my thought processes, learning what I'm going through, relating to what I'm going through. Are you having these kind of struggles as well? I'm trying to make it, I don't want to say make it real, but that's exactly what it is, because there's so many channels that they start their channel after they lost their weight. Some of them, yes, while they will lose the weight, but not starting from a size like me and then going through the whole entire process of losing the weight. They don't show the day-to-day struggles. And, that's what I'm hoping to be able to do as well. And I just have my fingers crossed that I actually end up getting healthier and losing weight. I did weigh in today, and I was this evening. I won't say today, I would say this evening. And this was with shoes on. I didn't take anything off. I was 240.1. And that's what I was at the doctor a few days ago. So, not going up, not going down, but not going up either. So, and I did place an order through Walmart for some more, a little bit more food to get me through the week, because I bought solid stuff, but I did need it. It's so discouraging. I buy it and then I don't eat it, and I decide to eat something else or I eat out. So I have to get this done, and I'm going to get it done. Well, if you've made it this far, please, give me some comments. Give me that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you know when I upload a video every day. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.